EP603. Yellow.
Ooh, I love that number.
Oh, boy.
Hello, Suze. Hey, you know what I just realized? That means I get all the odd numbers. We're talking about shit I want to talk about. And you get all the even numbers.
Yeah, that's how it's been for a while. Sarah's
that means
episodes
you get
are
episode
odd.
666.
666. Ooh.
We should make... What? Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. We need to do some math.
Some math.
I know that episode is going to come out around Halloween time, isn't it?
Let me look right now. I'll tell you the answer.
What if we had an extra spooky episode?
Oh my God, yeah. We could definitely do a segment about like the satanic panic.
Yeah, Suze.
Yeah.
Look at us just brainstorming our future episodes on episode 603.
It's November 10th. What a shame. We should like...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're going to do...
Let's renumber them.
We're going to speed it up. No, we're going to do a revisit. It's November 10th, to me, still spooky season.
Okay. It would have been... Like, that's so annoying, though, that it's only 3 episodes off.
That's so close.
I'll see what we can do about that.
We're gonna have like 1 week where we're like, guys, we have 4 episodes this week. Or do we need to slow it down or speed it up? Speed it up.
Seriously. You're so right. We got to do some bonus shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Like bonus episode for you guys, just so we can make 666 our Halloween episode.
Yes.
That's too perfect.
It really is. It would be a missed opportunity if we did.
It would be.
Okay.
We're going to work on this.
We'll work
Anyways.
on it. Okay.
In this episode.
Anyways. Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, my goodness. First of all, how are you, Suze?
I miss you.
I miss you so much.
I mean, we got to sort out when we're going to see each other. The spring meetup kind of didn't work out, so we got to pick a new date and we got to work it all out.
What are those summers like over there in the Berg? Are they hot and humid or what? What do we got going? What are we
I think
cooking
they're
with?
great.
Yeah, you said
80s.
80s. Oh, that's lovely.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or
you know what I would like to do? 4th of July, because Adam likes to light stuff on
that's
fire.
Right. Yes. We don't kid around.
He likes to do the fireworks thing. There we go. We're just planning our life over here and not even doing an actual episode, are we?
I keep laughing about how I keep texting you after I have edibles.
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite thing.
I hope you don't mind.
Stone Susie is the best.
Don't feel obligated to respond. I am doing it purely for my own entertainment.
I love it, and then it also makes me excited. Like, it gives me ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to watch tonight. Then
okay, good.
I just do whatever you do. I'm like, have the same.
Yeah, it's like contagious
high
shenanigans.
Stoned experience. Mm-hmm. I chase your stoned experience.
Yeah, well, it got exacerbated recently because I had a head cold, as they call it.
No.
And so I was taking cold medicine, and then you know how that goes.
You get a little loopy.
Yes. What is in that stuff?
I have no clue.
It's
but
great.
It has the same effect on, me and everybody else. I think that's its job.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. I salute the scientists for all the medicines.
You know what? Thank you for the excellent segue that you just gave me, because one of the stories that I want to talk about is a new medicine that is in its trial phases with mice. Mm-hmm. New research at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis have discovered an oral non-hormone based pill that's 99% effective in preventing pregnancies, and males take it.
Love it.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Oh, I wouldn't trust them.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about this.
On the other hand, they really do not want you to get pregnant.
Correct.
So.
But, okay. So, there were so many interesting facts in this article that I was like, what the fuck?
Making me think of all kinds of things with this. Okay.
Did you know that men produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat?
Ew.
I know, it's kind of gross.
They are so gross.
I love that you think that that's gross. You're like, ew. Sperm.
Nasty.
Yeah.
How many? 100,000 per heartbeat?
Yeah, 1,500.
Where are they coming from?
I mean, their testes.
No, I mean, like, what is it made of?
Well, proteins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's actually good that you ask that because
Proteins.
this is what they're doing with these mice. So, and this is why I think that they're not going to do this because of the mechanisms that are in place and how they are, like what it is that they're doing. I think that when you try to explain this to a man, he's going to get all inside of his head and be like, I don't want that. So they're trying to stop the production of sperm. You know, we only produce one egg. It's like easier to stop. Not easier. I shouldn't even say that. But there's a large amount of sperm produced, so they need a very effective method in
preventing
making
it.
not produce that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they developed this drug that's called YCT529.
Got it.
Also, let's do some rebranding with the name because who can remember it?
I was thinking this very thought about who in the world named it a cold. It doesn't make any sense. That is the dumbest name I've ever heard.
That is not in any way what I thought you were going to say. Who named that a cold? What is the part that you think is weird about this?
That isn't even a symptom of a cold. It's not like you're cold when you have a cold.
It absolutely is.
No, that's if you have a fever.
No, when I have so a symptom of a fever is being cold.
Yeah, like chills and yeah.
But
most people don't get a fever when they have a cold. They usually just get congestion and cough and throat stuff.
Right.
Who's naming it? Why is it called that?
That's a terrible name. What are your other options? The ickies?
Like if they called it
the crummies?
A congestion type of, that makes sense because that's
But if
actually
somebody
a
were
symptom.
like, I have congestion, that's just pointing to a specific symptom.
I know,
but cold is more like, ugh.
Okay, what would you call it?
Like the yuckies. I'm telling you. So it has to be something that expresses the
feeling. Or maybe
the same
something
way cold does. Like, ooh, I'm cold.
Something with the word mucus would be more accurate.
I'm
not saying it would be pleasant, but it at least would tell you what's going on.
But neither is a cold, so that seems accurate.
You're stupid. Stop defending this. This is ridiculous. I'm going to find out the etymology of that. I want to find out.
That is such a good point, though.
Thank you.
Words are funny. Actually, the English language is weird.
Yes.
Because I want to know what it is in other countries. What's the word?
Mm-hmm.
And then what does it translate to? Is it more of a feeling or is it something specific?
Okay. Maybe we could have a bonus episode about that.
Yeah.
Just about the cold.
Yes. Okay. So they developed this drug, which has a terrible name, that shuts off. It has a fine name. It's probably named after the receptors and the number, the blah, blah, blah. But sometimes I'm like, why don't you just you have a great opportunity. It felt like this is probably something did a woman discover this? Because it feels like when women discover it, they're like, oh yeah, just give the number. And when guys discover it, they're like, name it after me.
Yeah, right. That's such a good point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they named this, they figured out this drug that shuts off a protein called retinoic acid receptor alpha, RARA, that binds to vitamin A, and this plays an important part in the growth of the cells, specifically sperm formation. So they basically give you a drug that turns off this protein that plays a big role in how sperm are created. So they gave it to mice every day for 4 weeks, and they found that it dramatically reduced the sperm count, and it was 99% effective in reducing pregnancies in the test group. And then they also found that, because the big worry with a lot of the male contraceptives, like oral contraceptives, the side effects are really shitty. They're like depression and all this stuff, because it usually before affected more male hormones, but now this is going after the protein that builds the sperm itself, so you don't get those. It says that they're not any observable side effects in the mice, and that they were able to have babies, like, produce offspring, 4 to 6 weeks after stopping it.
Okay.
But I feel like you're going to get a lot of pushback from men on this one.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel, I can hear them being like, oh, what if it never comes back? Oh, 4 to 6 weeks, like that. Like, I can just, I feel like, I don't know.
Well, they are babies, that's for sure. Like, have you ever had a conversation about what is that called? Like getting a vasectomy, getting snipped. What they do not, they make such a big deal about it. And it is outpatient. Like, I know that it's scary and you might feel like, ugh, it's my balls. But
it's not even their balls.
What is it, their taint?
Well, no. I mean, it is their balls. But it's like not like they're removing one. They're like, actually, no, I think it's something inside the penis.
Oh,
but maybe they. Where do they go?
I do think it's in.
Fucking all about this.
Yeah, we're just as bad as them. But they make such a big deal about it, and I just don't think they appreciate what we go through as ladies. I mean, just a pap smear sucks.
Definitely do not.
Mm-hmm.
I may not know anything about the difference between cramps and labor pains.
Although we did get people saying, Sarah, you're right.
It did. There were some people saying that, huh?
Not most people, but there were some who said, hey, I've had both and my cramps are worse.
Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe that
maybe you fall in that category.
Holds up.
Yeah, maybe for some people.
Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you what I love.
Not beside me, in the opposite way that I hate cramps.
Is Rothy's shoes. By the way, I'm wearing them right now.
Oh, I just saw when I was at the gym this morning, I saw a commercial for Rothy's, and out loud, I was by myself. I was like, "Oh, Rothy's!" And I was like, "Sir, nobody's with you right now."
That's how I feel when I see them and when I put them on every day, which I wear them every day, as you guys know, especially in the summertime. They're so cute. They are sustainable. They are made from recycled plastic. You throw them right in the wash, good as new as anytime you want. You get them sparkling clean. They always have new styles and colorways and designs. They have like casual ones, but then they have like fancy dressy ones too.
Super cute. Oh my God, these are going to be your go-to shoe. Just try the slip-ons and tell me that there is I don't know a better shoe out there.
Yeah, because they're so comfy, but they look nice with everything.
Never get dirty. And they're white. Right. The ones I have. You can get whatever color you want.
Step up your shoes and accessories this spring and get ready to be asked, are those Rothy's? Plus, get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/braincandy. That's ROTHYS.com/braincandy. I love mine.
And you 100% will be asked.
Yeah, because it's like a little club we're all in.
Yeah. Well, at least if I run into you.
It is scary that this birth control thing is making me have a little bit more empathy about how it must be scary to put all your faith in your partner to control that. Because they do ask, like, are you on the pill or whatever? And then you answer, but how do they really know? Because I would feel that way if my guy said he was on the pill. He'd be like, but do you remember? Like, you're an idiot.
When I was married, I had to, like, remind, like, my husband all the time, just take out the trash.
Well, remember how often he washed his hand towels?
Yes. No, that we were going to have a problem. Yeah.
They're not exactly, like, responsible sometimes.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Not all.
I just feel like there's going to be some pushback with that one.
Yeah, this will be interesting. But I'm glad they're developing it.
99% effective, but no. And also, I feel like I am fully for. I want this to happen, but I just can see men being.
Troubles
I wish they weren't, but I just feel like that might. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the opposite.
Yeah, let's be optimistic.
Let's, because I've been making not so. I mean, my predictions are often terrible, as we've seen in the past.
We're not very good at predicting things.
Speaking of like, what the heck, having babies and stuff. Remember we talked about during quarantine that, like, we were like, oh yeah, there's probably going to be a baby boom, and then we realized, like, oh my gosh, no, people stopped having babies.
Yeah.
This was just something I saw on Instagram. I don't even have, like, the article or anything there, but I just remember because the stat stuck out, like, in my mind so much because I couldn't freaking believe it. Okay, so in the United States let me see if I can get these numbers right, from 2011 to 2017, we had an average population growth in the United States of 2.2 million. Mm-hmm. Okay. In 2019, that dropped by 50%. We had a population growth of 1 million.
Okay.
Guess what the population growth in the United States was in 2021?
Like 0?
I mean, you're not far off.
What?
393,000.
Really?
That's fucking 1/5 of what it was before, or whatever.
Does this concern you?
It doesn't concern me, and it's just a big, like, I don't know. It's just something that's like kind of shocking to me.
Because you feel like it's indicative of other things.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. I feel like, okay, any big shift is not without change and consequences, whether they be it positive or negative. Mm-hmm. Isn't that fair?
Yeah.
So I just think that this
what are the implications?
We don't know. I mean, this is like the frickin', what do they call it? Butterfly effect or some shit. Where, like, I just have a feeling that dramatic, or maybe it's a good, I don't know. Is it good?
Well, it's better for the environment, but.
Right. Oh, gosh, it just is weird.
It wasn't a global decrease, so I wonder what it is globally.
Yeah, me too.
But okay, are you telling me that this is just population growth, or is this births?
This is population growth.
Because a lot of that has to do with immigration.
New people.
Yeah, but it's not just about births; it's also about immigration. And if we stopped letting
correct.
people in, that was a
100%.
Huge thing because of COVID and also
correct.
Racism. And well, I mean, it's true. And so
you're so correct.
That is a problem. I read this week that where I live, Pittsburgh, has the most decrease in population. And
really?
And I'm hoping that they let more immigrants in. We are a refugee city. Like we welcome. Yeah, but I would love more of those lovely people.
You're so smart, Susie.
No, I'm just saying, like, maybe not.
Like, the article said that, but, like, I didn't think of that.
What,
when
immigration?
I read it. And then after I read it, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. You basically just summarized the article for me.
You know, but also I've read so much about how young people are less inclined to have children, and I don't blame them.
I don't at all.
There's no support.
I'm one of them. I'm tired.
Yes.
I can't imagine. And I feel like I just found a relationship where, like, I'm getting the nurture. I don't want to share.
Aww.
Is that fucked up?
No, I get that.
Just for, like, a little while.
Yeah, it's new anyway. You should feel like that. You don't want to share.
I don't have any of those desires of, like...
Really? You're not feeling broody?
No, I not at all.
Really, Sarah?
I do know that our children would have great hair.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like I want to be selfish for like a few more years.
Okay, do it.
And then at that time, like, I don't know, who knows?
See what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. What else, Now they have that male contraceptive,
Did you tell him about it?
Did I? No, I did not. Mm-hmm. But
see what he thinks.
I think, well, he's very responsible, so, yeah.
I think he'd be one of those people that felt like it was toxic or something. Like, since he's into green drinks, he wouldn't want all those chemicals running through his testes.
Yeah, probably. He likes a good old-fashioned prophylactics.
Prophylactics. Oh, good one.
Yes. Okay. What other stories do I have? I have I have so many fun articles talked about. I read this fascinating article. Maybe it was just exciting to me because it made me think so much of Life on the Challenge.
Okay.
And tell me what you think.
Okay.
So this was in Science Focus, And it's an article about volunteers who spent 40 days in a cave with no natural light or clocks.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
Most of them wanted to go back.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. They called it the deep time experiment.
Deep?
It's so fun.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Where's the cave?
Okay, the cave was in France. I believe it was in France. And so there's this explorer and researcher. His name is Christian Klott, and he's heads of this organization called the Human Adaptation Institute, and he's the one who put together this project. So apparently it's been researched before, but not quite in the same way. In the 60s and 70s, there were people in Germany who tried to live in a cave with no way to check time, but they were on their own. They didn't really have it wasn't a proper study in that way. Mm-hmm. And some of them fell into different daily rhythms and some went to 24 hours per day.
Yes, I've heard about that.
So we've had some similar, some went to 48, but so they understood that they'd experienced some change of time. This one was a little bit different because all of the participants, the volunteers, knew each other.
Man.
Which this is when it started sounding like the challenge.
Yeah.
There were so many, so let me tell, I'm trying to what exciting things I want to tell you about first. So because there were a few things that changed how the results changed, what results they got versus what lab studies usually show. Okay. So usually if you're on your own and you're in an environment where you don't have exposure to a sunlight or clocks or anything like that, we have these natural circadian rhythms. They'll shift a little bit, but they'll stay pretty much on that. When you introduce a social setting, it changes everything. They concluded that it seems that biology didn't determine their rhythm. It was instead their need to be together and spend time together that changed their rhythms.
Man.
And so the interesting thing was it was surprising how quickly the group began to adapt, and they began to adapt to different situations. And because they were all such a different group, they felt like there was somebody who could solve every problem they had. And this part was not like the challenge, that most arguments seemed to resolve pretty quickly. But the things that were similar to me was that when they were freed from clocks and schedules, they began to focus more on the connection to each other, and then the social dynamics of the group changed their sleep cycles. But then when they brought them back into the real world, no pun intended,
so to speak,
it took them a while to recover. It said that this guy says, it took me more than a week before I was able to open a newspaper and process all the information. I tried to put my phone away as much as I can. Some of his quotes felt so much like things that we would say after getting off of a challenge.
It's always very weird.
Yes. We have this weird feeling you feel like you can't really socialize back into the regular world. The things that, one of the things that said was different about this experiment was that they were in this cave that was majestic and beautiful and kind of like a novelty in a way. So just where they were kind of kept them on this more irregular schedule because they were constantly oh, this is new, and curious.
Yeah, their brain
which
was
is
in a different
also
mode.
what we experience in those situations.
Yeah, every day, because the environment's new, and then each experience is new, and a lot of the people are new.
Yes.
I feel like every single one of them should try BetterHelp after they're done in the cave.
You would probably need BetterHelp after spending a time for frickin' 60 days in a dark-ass cave.
Right? But truth be told, most people could probably benefit from some therapy, and BetterHelp is a great option. especially if your schedule's crazy or maybe you're just like wanting to give therapy a try and you don't want to have to go into an office and feel intimidated or whatever, because you can do it on your phone or your computer or whatever on your own schedule. And you can find a person that specializes in whatever it is that you need, whether it's grief or relationships or just stress and living life, being a person. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy. They offer video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Brain Candy listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/braincandy. That's BetterHelp.com/braincandy. I've had great experience with it, and I hope you do too.
Yes.
Why does that study have to be in a cave, though? Like, what's the point of the cave part?
Part of me felt like this was a researcher in the same way. Remember when we watched the Rescue documentary and there was the anesthesiologist who happened to be a spelunker?
Yeah.
This feels like somebody who's a researcher who happens to be an explorer and got his 40 explorer buddies together.
Oh, okay.
And because they said that they wanted to continue, they wanted to see if the environment changed anything about those sleep cycles. So they wanted to do it in a jungle or in a rainforest or desert area to see if environment is the strongest factor that causes groups to adapt, or if people adapt in the same way despite, different, like whatever environment they're in.
I'm sure they didn't say this in the article, but what would you guess they would compensate these people for? That's a lot to ask. To go live in a cave for how long?
I know.
Were they
I was
there?
thinking the
6
same
weeks?
thing. 40. Well, this is the interesting thing. So they were brought out. I didn't get the details on how this happened or what was the cue to bring them out, if they had an idea of how much time had passed. But when they brought them out, the participants thought that they had been there for 30 days, but they had actually been there for 40.
No.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They thought they were running on a much longer rhythm than
yeah.
and time just begins to slip away. They also said in the article, this was cool. They said that things started to not, like the concept that something takes too long or too short started to disappear. Because there was nothing to measure time, or it became very abstract.
That's nice,
Nothing.
though.
I know that sounded lovely. That nothing, and this is, I feel like the things that this article highlighted were the things that I love about the challenge that made me feel, because it is kind of that break, that separation from the outside world, and you do kind of reset all of your rhythms in a weird way. Like
I always
not being on social media for a month plus is so good for your mental health.
Yeah, I always teased you about that because you really liked it and I didn't. But
I love not answering emails.
Do see the value of what you just described, where you are so stripped of your distractions that you have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And you really do get perspective. That happened to me every time, where I had much more clarity about where I wanted to go in life and what I wanted to accomplish and do than I would at home. Yeah.
For sure. Because you just take a break. You don't have so much noise.
It's very hard to simulate that, though, especially now. It's even worse.
Yeah, you got to go down to a fucking bottom of a cave.
Truly.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you know where we can do this? Cave. It might get flooded, and we might have to put you under and escort you out. But
my God,
could you imagine? It's just crazy. A lot of experiments.
Did they have any pictures in that article?
Yes, they do.
What did it look like?
It's a very open cave. It's very roomy. It's
roomy.
For real.
You're like the realtor for the cave.
Yeah. I'm like high ceilings.
Right.
Gorgeous natural features. Beautiful stone floors. I could sell this.
You really could. That's so
I totally
funny.
could be the real estate agent for the cave.
But you felt like it would be a nice,
natural water features,
peaceful situation.
Yeah, it looks peaceful. I mean, minus the fact that you're in a fucking cave, which now like gets in my head a little.
Why?
Like I was on the train, so I took a train with some friends too. We went to Winter Park and went tubing, which was so much fun, by the way. If you've never been like tubing at like a snow park, oh my God, do it. It is so fun. You go fast too.
Yeah.
Like so fast. Oh
it's
my God,
scary.
it was so fun. So we took a train. And there was a part where, and it was so much fun because the conductor the whole time was like an old timey train conductor, and he was almost like the guy who does the jungle tour at Disneyland. He was like, if you look to the left, you'll see this and that. I loved it. It was
what is wrong with you? Why do you love that stuff? Oh, it's full of facts.
They're facts.
I don't mind the facts. I hate the jokes, the stupid, weird.
Well, he's got to throw a few in there so he keeps people interested in the facts, Susie. You and I are different than most people. Most people come for the jokes, stay for the facts. You and I,
right? You're right.
Come for the jokes, and we come for the facts, and then we put up with the jokes. But I love the jokes.
All right.
You put up with them. So he had all the jokes, and he was oh my God, it was so cute. And
how old was he? If he's old, I'll be okay with it.
He was old.
Okay.
And Suze, the cutest part, you could tell he was like the happiest train conductor there ever was.
Okay.
And his son also worked on the train, and then his daughter-in-law worked on the train, and then they had their little girl who was like just hanging out coloring in one of the booths. The whole family worked on the train. And we were even saying, like, oh, my God, that's so cute. And I was like, yeah, if your dad was that guy and he was this happy about his job every day, wouldn't you want to go into the family business?
Right.
Like, totally makes sense. This was so adorable. And they were, like, the happiest family I've ever seen.
I really like that.
Yeah, it was cute. So one of the facts that he gave me was the whole train. But it felt like, I was the only one listening sometimes.
Right. You were the only one into it.
Totally. I'm like, oh, listen. Shh. I'm like shushing the other people next to me. That when you go you go through one of the tunnels, he said there are 400 feet of solid granite above you. And I got a little panicky.
Wow.
I can climb the outside of the rock 4,000 feet up. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I got that. But 4,000 feet on top of me that I can't control. What if it were to just wiggle, and then crush me?
See, buried alive. Scary, scary.
Susie.
Nightmare.
You're right, I think. That might be the scariest thing.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, I just got like a chill.
No, that sounds terrifying. Especially granite. That's heavy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Then what kind of, in my mind, I'm like, if he said you have 4,000 feet of sand above you, I'd be like, oh, that's not bad. But 4,000 feet of granite, I'm like, whoa. That shit's heavy. Meanwhile, when I was on the challenge and we had to do one of the challenges where we got buried alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm buried alive. I was only, I want to say something like a couple feet, like maybe 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 feet. I don't know how deep, if they made it actually 6 feet. But I was only a few feet deep. I tried until there's only about 2 inches of dirt over you. You ain't lifting up that box, the lid of that box.
Right.
Dirt is heavy.
It is.
You're dead. Dead.
Yeah, R.I.P. No, thank you.
Like I knew. Yeah. And they already had the tombstone made up and everything. That was so scary.
I keep writing down the quotes that you keep saying. Dirt is heavy.
It is. I mean, like...
You're just freaking facts. I mean...
Freaking facts, man. Freaking facts. So, yeah, that cave experiment seemed pretty cool. And it was just... It's that part about feeling like nothing takes too long or nothing is too, quick. I like
that. I like that.
He said towards the end we were never thinking, oh, that went too quickly, or oh, this is taking too long. We were always taking just the right amount of time because there was no clock to compare it to. This was a new sensation, and I feel, and I know my colleagues feel, like it was more free in the cave because I didn't have to follow time.
That sounds really nice.
Yeah, and they all wanted to go back.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing, but you just made me think of it. If you had to pick what heaven would be like,
what
would you?
This is the best.
What would you pick? And I don't have an answer, so I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I feel like you would have an answer.
Now, this is going to be really cheesy. You're going to be like, oh my goodness. Heaven would be, because I really did cry when I had this feeling and it feels like flying, a fresh powder day
of
snowboarding. I'm not kidding. I knew you were going to think I'm ridiculous. I knew you were going to think I'm ridiculous for this. But nothing feels better. It's a whole day. It's going to be a whole day. Like you, first of all, here's heaven. Here's heaven. I wake up. I'm probably in Norway. Heaven probably looks like Norway.
Okay.
I wake up and it's a buffet breakfast. Heaven has a buffet.
This is the best. I'm so glad.
Heaven is a buffet breakfast. So a little of a lot. My favorite thing in the world.
A lot of a little.
A lot of a little.
Yeah.
No, a little of a lot.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You're like, this is my heaven, bitch. I'm sorry.
Sissy.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This is cracking me up.
You threw me with powder.
Buffet breakfast.
Okay.
Then it's a fresh, like, bluebird powder day where, like, 12 inches. Like, it's so much powder. But it's, like, 45 degrees outside. But somehow that just stays. Like, and I'm warm. And it's, like, sunny.
Oh, my God.
But somehow I don't get a sunburn. And then and then when you get to, like, the chairlift, they give you a hot cocoa for the next ride up.
Oh, my God.
And then, like, all your friends are there with you. And you're, like, really good. And you could do all the things that you think you could do in your mind. But then you try to do it and you can't actually.
This is a genuine answer. This is true.
This is a fucking genuine answer. I can't even tell you. So here's how I know. Because the other day, on what was it, like, I don't know, Monday this week, I go out and I had one day where I had a free morning. And the conditions were crappy. Mm-hmm. Then the next day when I had to go home, there was amazing conditions, and I felt like I was going to cry because I missed it.
Wow.
I was so mad. I was like, oh, fuck. Am I going to get – I want that. And every single run up is your first chair on every – no matter how many times you take the lift, it's always like first chair. It resets every time.
Nothing
and
better.
You get like a fresh –
powder.
I will send you some video of what fresh powder days in Norway with the beautiful sun like that is look like, and you tell me that isn't heaven.
All right. Well,
what does heaven look like to you?
I mean, my idea of heaven would definitely include where, like, let's say you're going to be paid in 2 days, but you need the money now, and so you have Chime, and so you don't even have to wait. You can get paid. That
would be heaven.
Up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Now that is a segue.
I could use this.
Yeah, everybody could use it. But, I mean, it seems like too good to be true, just like heaven does, but it's real. It's more than just getting paid early, though. It's an award-winning mobile app. You can get checking account, debit card, optional savings account. What are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com/braincandy. That's chime.com/braincandy. And here's the mandatory info. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Early access direct deposit funds depend on payer. You know, that's why I said I really don't know what my answer would be, but when you started, I thought we were going to be on the same page because you said something about flying.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like when you're on, like, that powder that kind of, like, hugs you, and you barely even have to move. And, like, just lean a little bit this way, lean a little bit that way. And you are...
It's effortless.
It's effortless, and it feels like you're floating. And there's no fear because you fall on to a nice cushiony cloud of something that catches you? Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
That sounds lovely.
So it takes away the fear of falling and shit. And so if you can have all the fun without the fear, hello, good times.
My heaven would be a world where nobody uses the word powder. No, I do think that the flying thing sounds fun.
You're so funny. Oh my God. That just cracks me up.
I'm going to think about it though. It would be nice though if you died and then they were like, okay, what do you want? You can pick.
I think that's how it will be.
Oh, I hope so. That sounds great.
So my friend Audrey that I'm staying with, shout out to Audrey, has a dog that I'm pretty sure was just a human.
Okay.
And like a really, really, really good human. And then like, this is like its final like trip around the sun. Like, not trip around the sun, but soul's last. They basically beat all the levels in Earth Game.
Yeah, okay. Earth Game. Okay.
Yeah. Beat all the levels. This dog has human eyeballs.
I love that, but it does freak me out when a dog has human eyeballs.
I can't get over it. And it does like people things.
Oh, okay.
I had a dog bowl, like this little plastic like takeout bowl that I was using for Bo's food, and I put the bowl in the bin just where her food is, and this dog took the bowl out and put it right at my feet.
Whoa.
Like, no, this doesn't go in here. But like hours after I'd put it there, like found it and was like, oh, excuse me, and then came to find me and put it at my feet as like in the house. And I'm like, this dog is so freaking smart. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And this dog totally has human eyes. So my whole point is, I think maybe this dog is like, maybe if you're like, before you get to heaven, your like last incarnation is you get to be a dog for like the most awesome owner who takes the best care of you and gives you like all the best kind of organic-y treats and has like, dog walkers come all the time and all that kind of stuff. Don't you think?
I mean, that would be a pretty nice last go round.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because this dog looks like it was like a good human in another life and has like good energy vibes. See? And it feels like that. I'm like, I feel like you're just like, you were like a good person.
I wish I could find it. I'm like scanning my notes right now, trying to find this old article that I never got to about dogs and how like the smart ones, when they tilt their head, like that they really are listening. That's not just sort of something we've anthropomorphized.
Oh my God. Yes.
And the smart ones, because there is a difference. Some dogs are smarter.
The ones that have eyeballs like that.
Yeah, sometimes
Don't you feel like it? You're like, you were just a human.
It does feel like it's like a person inside a dog suit.
Yes.
When they have those eyeballs. But I can't find my notes, but there is evidence.
I'm going to take a picture of this dog, and you guys are going to be like,
what kind of dog is it?
Oh, gosh. A kind of, like, not an Australian Shepherd, but a dog like that. It's like a working dog. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. And it like went to puppy school where like Audrey says when like somebody comes over, she goes stairs, and they go on the stairs and sit. And then she says release, and then they go and greet the person.
Oh, here I found it. Let me read it to you. Okay, there's two things. So they did a study where they wanted to know, like, let's say you have a dog, you and Bo decide to move to Asia.
Okay.
Does your dog notice the difference between languages?
Ah.
Right? Because it doesn't speak English, but like,
Correct.
would it even notice that you're in a different environment? So they said they designed an experiment to test that. And the dog sat still within an MRI machine while listening to an excerpt from the story of The Little Prince. They heard one version in Spanish and another in Hungarian. Then the scientists analyzed the dog's brain activity, and we found a brain region, the secondary auditory cortex, which is higher level processing region in the auditory hierarchy, which showed a different activity pattern for the familiar language and for the unfamiliar language. So they can tell if it's not English. Or,
they are listening. They do know.
Yeah. And then the dog head tilting one, it said that they compared 7 gifted dogs. So the ones that are like clearly not idiots.
Could you imagine if you were the owner of that gifted? That's how I know. Like, I just think about if somebody were to label my dog gifted, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I can only imagine what a parent would feel like if they labeled their child gifted.
They picked all dogs that were those ones that can learn words, like those ones on Instagram.
Yes. God, they're so funny.
And then they compared them with typical dogs. And when asked to retrieve a toy...
With the dummies.
Yeah. When asked to retrieve a toy, 43% of the smart pups cock their head and only 2% of the typical dogs. And
wow. Yeah. They were like, what'd that guy say? Mm-hmm. That sounds... He's giving the same vibes, but I don't know what that means.
So if you think your dog is smart, like when they're cocking their head, they're like really trying to listen. So that's fun.
And Bo is definitely smart.
I think so.
I have full conversations with her, and she knows what I'm saying.
Do you think any dog... Have you ever heard a dog owner say their dog was an idiot, though?
I had some dog... Yeah. Well, no, Sigmund was smart. He was just a fucking asshole.
I had an idiot dog one time.
Yeah?
That bulldog I had. I mean, bulldogs are notoriously kind of stupid.
Yeah. I had a dopey dog. You know, that was just kind of like... But like...
Maybe more lazy.
Yeah.
Intellectually
lazy. Not even lazy, but just like maybe kind of ADHD a little bit.
They do say dogs become like their owners.
Yeah, so maybe that was it. I've since learned to control it, yes.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what else? What other fun facts do I have for you today? Oh, here's a little follow-up. Remember when we were talking about space junk?
Yes.
And all that trash?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, how much space junk is there, actually?
Yes.
A fucking shit ton, Susie.
Tell me.
So there are currently, according to the most up-to-date statistical estimates carried out by the European Space Agency, there are currently around 8,000 satellites functioning or otherwise in orbit around Earth.
8,000?
But there are 130 million pieces of space debris occupying the same space.
Fuck. That is not good news.
It's not good news. And what they're really worried about is that there's going to be what do they call it? A domino effect. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen, like we're at a like critical point now, yeah. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
That and the problem is that like, some of them are small. So some of them are like about 10 inches in diameter, which makes them really hard to track.
But they still can do big damage.
Yes. So something that's that small, what they're worried about is that it's going to crash into one of the 8,000 satellites, and then that's going to split apart into 1,000 pieces. And then those pieces are going to crash into another satellite, and that's going to split apart. And once we have like this domino effect of, once it starts, it's like, who's going to fucking stop it? And then everything's going to go out. All the cell phones. It's not good. It's very, very, very bad. And we're not good at taking out the... I feel like... Okay, I didn't mean for this. I was like, this is a fucking hilarious joke now that I think about it. We failed to take out the trash on every single environment we're in. Just like I was saying, couldn't get my ex-husband to take out the trash right here in my own house. Can't get the people to take out the trash in the oceans. And we fucking can't get the people to take out the trash in space.
We are terrible.
We are terrible at...
We do not deserve this planet.
At doing something with our stuff. Do we have too much stuff?
Well, we definitely have too much stuff. And like the space trash thing, I think in the beginning it was sort of like, what's this? I mean, look how vast this universe is. Right. What's this little thingy going to be? But then, you know, things add up. Dummies.
Right. But that's like saying, oh my gosh, look, I live in this really big house, and then making your room messy.
Yeah, right. Stop
like,
it.
Yeah, you have a bunch of stuff to put things, but you're not putting it there. You're putting it right in you're going to trip over it as you're trying to get to the bathroom.
Right.
And that is exactly what they said. They said, we have so much space debris that soon it's going to prevent rockets from being able to go to space.
Man, maybe that's a blessing in disguise.
I know. No more of these fucking space cowboys. Like
space cowboys.
I'm going to put on my cowboy hat and I'm going to go to space. Oh. Speaking of which, I can't believe we haven't talked about this. Why does everybody have a fucking hard-on for Pete Davidson? And why does he get to go to space?
Hard-on. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, how did that happen? I mean, he's not going now, but
how big of a dick do you have to be like that's BDE? If your BDE is getting you into space.
But I feel like at a certain point you should say like, no, that's okay. Let's let the scientists go.
Correct. 100%. This guy who's depressed and like openly brags about being a non-functional human. Really. It's what it feels like a lot of his bits on Saturday Night Live are. And we're going to send this guy?
I love
He's the one?
I never know who you're going to be mad at each week. It's so fun.
I'm mad at Pete Davidson.
Mad at Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Maybe just was it Bezos that asked him? I mean, he's the source of all of your rage, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's put it back on Bezos. I'm frustrated with Pete Davidson.
So let me ask you this, though.
I don't get it.
If somebody said to you, Bezos or anybody, Sarah, we want you to go, what would you do?
If somebody said, you want me to go?
Yeah.
No, I would say, fuck no. Most of my nightmares occur in deep space.
Right. I forgot about that.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Space.
And you are actually going to make my nightmare come to life?
Yeah.
I hope there's heaven.
Okay.
I'm not making it out of this trip.
Okay. That's fair.
No. Yeah. That's not for me.
I can
That'll
see,
be a
though,
hard pass.
my point was just that
Wow,
I can see how it'd be hard.
Hard pass on going to space. I am not that person. I'm like the guy in the book that we wrote, that we read for like Project Hail Mary, where I don't want to give away the ending, but you should definitely read that book. It's the fucking best. I'm out of breath.
I could understand, though, how if that were offered to someone, how it'd be hard to say no because it's such a once in a lifetime type of, even if you weren't qualified. I'm saying Pete's not the problem.
Okay. I still don't like him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you didn't like Pete.
There's something this has gone on too long. This is silly.
What has gone on too long?
I don't even believe that the Kim Kardashian Pete Davidson relationship is real.
Wow.
This is silly.
Really?
This is all for show.
Okay.
Yes.
But who cares?
I stand by
Why
that.
do you get mad about it?
I think it's silly. And I think it's silly because it doesn't, I don't know. I just feel like we're just modeling the wrong things on every.
Well, that's true. Maybe you're mad at all of us.
I think I'm mad.
Everybody.
Everyone has let me down.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I can't figure it out, but.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that.
Nothing to get wound up over. I do have one more story that I have to tell you because I have to end it on this. We have not discussed our favorite topic.
Okay, poop?
In so long.
Yeah, you're right.
So long, Susie.
Yes. What's new in the
been
world
way
of
too long.
BM and feces?
We have not talked about any BM stories. This is not. It's sort of a BM story, but more like the opposite. New study shows you can breathe out of your butt.
No. Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
And apparently one day it can save your life.
Yeah, they were hoping that we could do that.
Yes.
That's good.
So we learned that there is such a thing called intestinal respiration.
Mm-hmm.
And there were certain animals that could do something similar. We have all of the parts that would be able to do this. Like we can absorb oxygen through the lining of our intestines. So they were wondering, okay, could oxygen also be delivered into the bloodstream into the same way?
Yes.
And they used this they studied mice and pigs and rats, and they used two different delivery methods. Oxygen into the rectum in gas form, and they also used this in oxygen-rich liquid and stuck it up their bums. And turns out that both of those methods are successful in being able to increase the blood oxygen levels enough to keep them to I should say, like, kind of mitigate or lessen the side effects of oxygen deprivation.
Yeah, because I read that the COVID and its side effects had inspired people to start really taking this seriously.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. They needed some other kind of ventilation.
Yes.
Because if the respiratory system fails, how else can we deliver oxygen?
Yes, I love it.
To
Go
the
up my
other
butt,
place that
do
they
it.
said that this could be very helpful is in premature babies, like who don't have fully formed lungs.
Yeah,
right
right up their butt.
Right up their butt.
I'm
but
psyched
I
about
also
it.
have to send you the hilarious image. The picture that they have to me is just so funny.
Okay.
I
did not mean to. I did.
Who's calling me?
It was me. I got so excited to look at this text that you were going to send. I started
this picture. I love a little. When you're going to be studying something like oxygen enemas, for lack of a better word, or really that is the exact word for it, I think. You got to make it appealing to the viewers. So they came up with this little drawing and cartoon, which to me is my favorite part of the whole study. Because it's a picture of, it looks like it's something out of Richard Scarry's book.
Imagine a Richard Scarry illustration, but somebody's in a hospital bed. Then next to him is a butt with a thing pointing into it.
Which is like a squirty air thingy. That's the PFC, and that's the oxygen enema. And
then next to the bed is a tub full of pigs. Or no.
Pigs, a rat, and a mouse. They're all bathing together.
Why are they in there?
Because that's one of the delivery systems for oxygen, was this oxygenated liquid. So they're trying to illustrate enteral ventilation via anus.
Wow.
And it is hilarious.
This is awesome. I'll post this on
You're
our Instagram.
100%.
Yeah, because, so they're going to go up their butts.
Yes.
And give them oxygen.
Yes.
It's so exciting because it was lights out.
As most up the butt stuff is, Susie.
That is so true. And frankly, I do want to make the butt a little more involved in things.
Oh, God, that is not the answer I thought you were going to give me. And that was great. You're like, you know what?
It feels like the butt has so much more potential than we've given it credit for,
I feel like there's some men have been saying this.
Yeah,
some
right.
Women.
There have been some butt apologists who have made this argument for years.
And I work out with my friend Ashley. Shout out to Ashley. She is amazing. She's got the best butt.
What's her secret? What's she doing? Squats?
Well, fucking working out,
That's
taking care of herself, and she's a personal trainer. That's what she does.
But what's her butt routine?
Her butt all the entire time during the workout. I can't even help myself. Yeah, Ashley, if you're listening, I do this.
Tell Ashley to send us her butt workout.
I am doing her butt workout right now. It is
what is it?
So good. Lifting heavy, a lot of thrusters, and just a lot of heavy weights, a lot of jump squats. Hip thrusters, where you put the weights, you put your shoulders on the bench, and then you put the weight in your hip creases, and then you
kind thrusters.
Of in hip thrusters they call those, and those really heavy. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Ashley's butt.
Yeah, oh my God, and the whole time I was thinking, oh my God, I absolutely get why I can't focus. I have no desire to I don't have those kind of feelings towards my friend, obviously, but
you're a butt woman.
But it is so good that I'm oh my God, I just want to stare at it all the time. So, I don't blame guys for wanting to do it, because I get it.
Wow.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to look. It's fine.
Yeah. You got to appreciate beauty where you find it.
Tell her. Luckily, she lets me check it out.
Wow, let's wind it down. Okay, sperm.
Talked about breathing through your butt.
And how men maybe shouldn't be trusted with birth control. We shall see.
Yeah, still to TBD. See if they're into that. And I feel like when they say, no observable side effects, but we're just looking at mice, it might be a little bit different. I don't know.
Well, remember
I'm for
how
it, though.
They originally came up with a male birth control, but they said it had too many side effects, so it didn't get approved. But then they created the female birth control that we all know and love.
With tons of side effects.
With way more side effects, and they were like, yeah, that's fine. Blood clots, no problem.
Oh, my God.
And it is really, there are serious side effects to using birth control, oral birth control.
For real?
Yeah.
So get those guys on the pill.
Yeah, let's make them do it. Fucking losers.
Let's make them do it, for goodness sakes. You have to set the alarm now. We learned about all the trash in space and how nobody's picking it up. Maybe, you know what? Let's send Pete Davidson to space and just to pick up the trash.
He should go to the cave is where he should go. You know, the deep time experiment.
There you go. Deep time experiment where you learn that if you are with a group that you will, like, social cues take over more than circadian rhythms. Mm-hmm. And they thought they were going to be there for 40 days, but it was really only 30. Like they believed that it was, no, they thought it was 30 days, but it was really 40. They're like, yo, people, you've been in here forever.
Time flies. Well, and riddle me this. Are dogs people too? Maybe.
And what's your heaven?
What is your heaven? Let's ask everybody. We'll find out what your heaven is.
Tell us. We want to hear what your heaven is. Oh, my God, I totally want to hear.
Follow us. Leave a review. Subscribe. It means the world to us. Thank you so much for supporting us. And anytime you use our partners' codes, it helps us. So thank you for doing that as well. It's so great. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.